And a happy Monday. I think we were all smiling. With a brand new intro for us to Talk Sports. Again, happy Monday. We're back. We took a week off due to the holiday on Labor Day. So, again, welcome back. Episode 108. Happy to be back here with the guys. Myself, Danny Torres. We got Isaac Gomez in the house. We got Brandon. And, of course, we got Jonka. Lots of things to get to tonight, boys. But I want to say that there is a new show coming to the PlugTalkSports platform. If you guys are into soccer and follow the UEFA Champions League, me and Isaac will be having a show every Thursday throughout this new Champions League season that is upon us to talk about the best games in the UEFA Champions League and just give our takes. Of course, our teams are in here. Isaac's Manchester United, Real Madrid. Of course, I think Madrid will go farther than United, but they'll be a topic for Champions League this week. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's go with bad news. Jonka, give me your bad news.
Man, bad news. Man, you got me on that one.
I mean, there is some bad news that happened right at the beginning of the football game here on Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. If I regret to inform any Jets fans or any Aaron Rodgers stands anywhere, he has been helped off the field in the first quarter. As of right now, he's most likely not going to return. Supposedly, he turned his ankle pretty badly, so I'll keep you guys in the loop if anything happens throughout the show. But as of right now, Zach Wilson has taken over. The game is tied 3-3, so we're in this 9 minutes in the second quarter. Oh, he's officially ruled out by Adam Schefter. There you go.
Yeah, that's I got him on our fantasy league actually. Thankfully, I didn't start him. I had Lamar Jackson starting, so good moves. You gotta know your football, kids. Brandon, let's go to you. I see you got that Panthers shirt on. What's your bad news? Any bad news you got going on?
Well, I don't know how, but I went out Saturday night after doing a closing shift in my current job, right? To go see a friend, whatnot, a little 21st birthday party thing, just to be there. I go take pictures. I want to take my glasses off. So I was wearing glasses at the time. I put them down on a chair. I come around back after photos, and I'm like, there's a guy sitting in the chair. I'm like, have you seen my glasses? I kid you not. He sat on these things.
No.
And he didn't, break them. It almost looked like it was twisted. Like, the glasses leg was here. Another one was there. You know what I mean? And, again, it was all an accident. You know what I mean? Can't be mad at him. So, right now, I'm kind of balancing some contacts. I have one eye here with a contact lens, a daily lens, and another one that's blind. And for those who are interested, I have a -5 prescription, so I'm as blind as there could be.
Wow.
So I got to look for basically any type of eye doctor out here now this week. But, yeah, it's been it's a weird start to the week.
Isaac?
You guys hear me good?
Yep, I hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, obviously football season, we're going to get into it. Week 1 started and fantasy football season officially started as well. And I messed up. I had picked Jerick McKinnon as one of my running backs. I mean, I could pull up the fantasy team, but I just messed up. I didn't put in Brandon Ayuk as a flex or receiver option. And the only reason I'm going to lose this week is because the two teams that are playing right now, my opponent has one of the kickers. I think it's for the Jets, or it could be for the Bills. But that's the only reason I'm going to lose, even though I messed that up. Only reason I'm gonna lose is to a kicker, basically. So that's my bad news of the week.
Oh man, that's almost as bad as our boy Brandon here saying Kyler Murray was gonna go off. Jonka remembers this one very well.
No one could predict his injury. Come on, man. I was on the right track.
For me, bad news. Huh. Other than a 5-hour bus ride back from Tampa, let me tell you, man, it's the second time in 2 weeks I've had to go up to Tampa for a football game and come back after the game. The only good thing about that is just the stack of it, which I don't even eat that stuff anymore. I want to diet, but the stack of Domino's pizza. There was like 70 boxes of Domino's pizza waiting for. Hey, man, I had the whole road to myself, man. I literally I had a pillow with me. Just man, I feel like a minor leaguer out here taking these bus trips all over the state of Florida, man. It's let me tell you, you gotta do what you gotta do, but it's rough. I mean, I heard one of our coaches up front, "Hey, man, next time taking the plane." It's rough. It's not fun. I ended up getting into my bed at 4 a.m. And the worst part is I had to be somewhere the next day and I had to wake up at 8. So I was running on 4 hours of sleep. Boy, let me tell you, that Celsius hits. Let's go with good news. Back to Jonka. Jonka, give me some good news. I ain't gonna be your Patriots, bro.
No, that unfortunately that ended up in a in a whole big thing with the refs. But whatever. We did play well
It's
against.
always an excuse with you.
Hey, I gotta defend my team somehow. But it's gonna have to be for sure. We'll probably get into it later in the show. But my Hurricanes defeating Texas A&M this past weekend, 48-33.
Wait, hold up. Why are you celebrating? You go to UF.
Celebrating. You go to UF. I mean, I'm a Gator fan. I may cover the game.
Texas A&M.
I'm a Gator fan. I may cover the game. So
I love it, Brandon. I love it.
In my case, it's Texas A&M. SEC. Alabama lost as well. So come on.
Come on. And this past week I got to meet Braxton Berrios. I got a signed hat from him. Pretty cool. He's a super chill guy. No promises, but we're trying to get him to do a barbershop talk. That's still in the works. So just letting you guys know.
Hey, listen. Jonka comes up with all sorts of stuff and excuses when this guy literally tells me, bro, Bill Belichick's getting a divorce from his wife. Maybe he'll be locked in and focused this year.
But I will say this though. The Patriots did hold the Eagles to one touchdown drive the entire game.
Yeah.
Hey, that's impressive for the Eagles.
We'll get into week 1 talk shortly. Brandon, your good news, sir.
I got a lot of good news, actually. Funny enough, I got an article that I'm really hoping to get published for the Alligator. That'll be a broadcasting related one. Of course, Daniel's done really well now going with Barry University. However, I'm in a weird way, I'm the biggest Jason Sanders fan you'll ever meet. I don't have his jersey yet, but I count him in every single fantasy league and every single fantasy team. And I know we're gonna go into it later on this episode, but man, he got 14. Like, I don't even know what it was, but it was like the best draft choice I've ever made in my entire life. To have Jason Sanders play in that Chargers game, that was, it was the best thing I've seen all day. I mean, besides, of course, 2K coming out, just a lot of great things going on.
Isaac, what's your good news?
So I'm not a huge tennis guy. I have a lot of family members though that play tennis and they watch tennis. And I did, however, get a great chance to watch the U.S. Open Cup, and I saw Coco Gauff and perform out of her mind, and she was able to win it. The 19-year-old, I think, is just amazing. She like not only like her play on the court, but in between, like the madness that I don't know if you guys knew, what had happened with the umpire not watching Coco Gauff's opponent. Yeah, get back to the line on time, ready to, for the serve. You also had like some kind of group, some environmental protest going on in the middle of one of the matches. Just pure madness throughout the tournament, and she stayed mentally tough, locked in, and won the whole thing. And a lot of people are comparing now her to Serena Williams and all that. We'll pump the brakes on that for now. I think she has a whole career ahead of her. Let's see what happens. But yeah, her run in this tournament was awesome to see.
For me, I'm gonna save. I have two good news. I mean, I want to save the most important one for our first topic, but I would have to say, despite the bad news of coming back from Tampa that late, the good news is we gave, and I gotta say it like this, I'm sorry, we gave those boys in Tampa a real good whooping. A 42-14 victory on the road. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like one of those memes. You had us in the first quarter. It was 14-14. Had us in the first quarter. And after that, I don't know what the heck happened. They turned on the Jets, and it was just lights out from there. So, yes, the bad news is that you go on this bus ride and you're exhausted. You get home at 4 a.m., but it feels a lot better when you're coming off a big ASS whooping like a 42-14 victory. So that's my good news, and I can't wait to share the second part of the good news in our first topic, which is the NFL is back week 1. We're here closing out now, obviously, week 1 with Monday Night Football. Buffalo Bills currently up 10-3 on the New York Jets. Of course, Aaron Rodgers out of that game with an injury. Around the horn, let's go. Guys, start with Jonka. What team was the most impressive to you in week 1? Jonka?
Most impressive? It would have, obviously, I don't want to be, tooting my horn, but I'm just kidding. No, it's the Dallas Cowboys, for sure. That was just, and plus they gave me 36 points on fantasy, by the way. That was just the most embarrassing loss to a Giants team I've ever seen, if I've ever seen in my entire life. They should be dismantled as of now. Just sell the team. You just go out on a good note. Just sell the team. You make your billions of dollars, and you're gone. That's it. Because there's no way you're coming back from that. There's no way. That's it. Your season's over. You play Dallas again. Then you gotta play Philly twice, and you're probably gonna lose to Washington. Like this team's a joke. But the Dallas defense is for real.
Brandon?
I don't know for how many people are statistic buffs, but Jared Goff is now 2-0 and undefeated against Patrick Mahomes.
I told you.
Now, when I was going into this season, I did not believe the Detroit hype. I don't really see a lot of things that go on in the NFC North or whatever NFC division that there is that can even challenge the Kansas City Chiefs or any other contender in the AFC. However, Jared Goff and also the Detroit Lions heart, that defense, and this is a team that ended up gunning out the running back room. They ended up doing pretty well on their own. So I was really shocked about that. I mean, of course, you look at the Cowboys' performance defensively, it's one of the best, if not the best, of the entire week. But to see that first game of the NFL season, Patrick Mahomes getting a pick 6 in Arrowhead, also known as Burrowhead, but now you're going to call it something that was Jared Goff's name. So that was probably the biggest shock. And honestly, I think it's going to foreshadow something in that division with the Lions.
Yeah, I got to agree, man. That Lions game was they're sleepers, man.
They're sleepers, man.
Isaac, you're up.
For me, it had to be the Green Bay Packers winning 38-20. dominating the Chicago Bears all offseason. I've heard all the talk about Justin Fields. He's back. He's going to dominate. He's going to carry this Bears team. But out of everybody, it was Jordan Love. 3 touchdowns on the day, 15 for 27, not bad, 245 through the air. And Green Bay dominates Chicago, starts the year off 1-0. And I'll throw in probably the most disappointing version, right? Or the worst thing I saw, which was Cincinnati losing 3-24 against Cleveland. Burrow, who was Brandon just mentioned. I think he'll get better as the season goes on, but 14 of 31 for 82 yards. 82 yards, guys. The guy threw the ball 14 times with Jamar Chase on the field, and he got 82 yards. So, yeah, that was kind of disappointing.
Are you guys ready?
No, well, here we go.
You guys ready? How about them Cowboys, baby? Everyone said, oh, they're going to lose to the Giants. Oh, Daniel Jones. Oh, they got Darren Waller. Watch out with Saquon. He's going to run all over you. 0 points. 40-0, baby. 40-0. Let's talk about Micah Parsons manhandling the Giants O-line. Diggs creating fumbles. We had interceptions. We sacked Daniel Jones 7 times. The boy was so frustrated, he told his own coach in the 4th quarter, "Coach, let me keep going. Let me get out there. Let me keep going." That boy went to bed with nightmares of the Dallas defense. And if this is not a signal, because now people, of course, because they hate the Cowboys so much, oh, you played the Giants, but that's not what they were saying before the game. That is definitely not what they were saying before the game. This is a team that made the playoffs last year, had a shocking victory in the playoffs to advance to the next round. This was a team that I personally said as well that they played well last year and would improve this year. Now the question is, it's not Danny Dimes. It's Danny Pennies is what he is. Is his contract, is he going to live up to the contract here? Does he deserve that? Because he did not look, that entire team should be, as Jonka said, dismantled. It looked god-awful. But for the Dallas Cowboys and that defense, the league better be on notice, baby, because that is a bad, bad defense. The speed of that defense. Daniel Jones would snap the football, and they were already across the offensive line. That is how much speed that defensive line has, and it's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Now, the offense was okay. It was okay. Tony Pollard did get some good runs. Dak, let me tell you, I will say this, and this is another thing people criticized. Dak Prescott, with having Mike McCarthy as the new play caller, looked a lot more comfortable than he did before. Looked a lot more comfortable, I'll tell you that. I need to see a little bit more from the offense, but just in general, I think this was the performance of the week. And now they head into week 2, playing the New York Jets at home, AT&T Stadium. And now we don't know what the status with Rodgers will be. So I'm saying that's going to be another Dallas victory. But I got to say it again. How about them Cowboys, baby? How about it? And that's all I got to say about that. I would bring my cowboy hat on and put it on, but I don't want to be too much for you guys.
Look, what I would say is one thing about that team. It just shows the O-line is the best part of the NFL. Giants had no O-line. They have no O-line at all going into the season. We saw exactly what happened. So let me tell you, the Cowboys, they might be back, man. They might be back. I saw the highlights a little bit here and there of that game. Everybody said it was over by the first quarter, and for great reason. That team has knocking all cylinders, offense, defense, every position. There wasn't really a detail where I could find in the crease of just something negative of that team, man.
I just want to mention the last time that the Dallas Cowboys shut out a team that bad or shut out a team in general was with Roger Staubach, and they won the Super Bowl that year. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I've been miserable for 25 years of my life. I will not say anything. It all comes down to December and January football. Not going to say a word.
This goes to show you how bad the Giants are. Daniel Jones has one good season last year, and they give him automatically a good long contract for millions of dollars. One good year out of like the 3 crap they had before. It makes no sense. He has one good year. Oh no, now he's progressing, right? Yeah.
We must talk about the elephant in the room, though. I can't lie to you guys. That was a pretty. I got to tip my cap. It was a pretty good damn game between the Dolphins and the Chargers. That was a very exciting game, I will say. Let me tell you, Herbert and Tua were going back and forth. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Tyreek Hill went off. And also, no one really talking. Everyone's talking about Tyreek, but no one's really talking about Braxton Berrios, who got cracked out of his mind in the fourth quarter. I don't know. Let me tell you, as a Patriots fan, I would not be doing that, bro. That's a little sus. But we're talking about the man who's a diehard Canes fan and wore a Florida State shirt when they were in the national championship. Let's not even go there.
First of all, it wasn't a Florida State shirt. It was Florida State and then Auburn on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad combo, man. Let me tell you something. That's a horrible combo. Let me tell you. I get just me.
Championship game.
You know where I lie, but there's like 3 teams in the SEC I can't stand, and Auburn's on that list. So that's just.
I don't really care for Auburn.
Yeah, but man, let me tell you though, that Dolphins game, man. This was a team that we saw, and of course, a lot of reporting for me and Jonka, especially, are reporting of it during training camp. It was a lot of skill, however, a lot of issues that we saw from the O-line, some questions defensively, and a lot of those questions did show out on Sunday. I mean, the defense allowing more than 30 points like that. And yes, Justin Herbert's a phenomenal quarterback, and they got, Pro Bowl wide receivers on that roster. But there should be no reason why a defense like that, where you got Xavier Howard, where you got a D-line as young with Phillips, as well as, of course, Wilkins, those guys should be able to get to the quarterback. What did it take to like the second half, late third quarter, fourth quarter, just to get a sack? So the defense had a bit of an issue. However, this does bring me to the offensive things. Tua Tagovailoa, which I will stand to the death of me, when he's healthy, he does show out in these games. And of course, Tyreek Hill is going to be a part of that. He had more than 200 yards receiving. And Jalen Waddle, who I thought would have more receptions this game, had less than 5 receptions in this one. He was also dealing a little bit of part of that. And Braxton Berrios, there were moments in this game where the Dolphins could have easily just fell apart, but Braxton making some crazy Julian Edelman-like catches, if I have to say myself.
That's what it reminded me of.
I'm telling you right now, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tua Tagovailoa, he had himself a day. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he's leading the NFL in overall yards passing by the end of all this. And again, week 1, but this was the Dolphins, hey, we're going to be just fine statement in week 1.
Isaac, anything you got on Dolphins and Chargers?
Well, I mean, defense, yes, they give up 30-plus points on the ball, but it's like you said, Brandon, they do have Mike Williams. They do have all the names that you can think of. When they are healthy, the Chargers can score points. I mean, before they were LA Chargers, when they were San Diego Chargers, they did the same thing. Their offense just never seems to limit itself. And then you look at the Dolphins defense, though, I think they still have some things to tweak. You look at the amount of penalties that defense had, like personal foul, pass interference. I think Xavier Howard had like 2 or 3 penalties on him alone, and he's a veteran, definitely cannot continue to do that. But yeah, I mean, Tua having a day, Tyreek Hill having 200+ yards, only I think he's like third. That performance right there was like third all time in opening day for the NFL in receiving yards for Tyreek Hill. So amazing thing. What I would like to see, though, is, of course, the O-line could always get better. It's the running game. Mozart, I think he's a certified starter. but he's got to give you 4 to 5 yards every time you give him the ball. Like I could see this being an issue where Tua is going to have a day where he struggles. He's not going to have a day like yesterday or Sunday. So we need to pick up that running game ASAP. But that's just my 2 cents.
Jonko, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was talking about the Chargers defense. They're not known for getting at the quarterback, and obviously Miami's O-line isn't great. They're not bad either. They're just just average or maybe just slightly above average. And the Chargers defense isn't gonna get to Tua. They're not that good. So obviously Tua would have a field day, and you just saw what happened, near almost 500 yards. So I'm just gonna I just want to see what does Tua do when he actually goes up to a really challenging defense and one that likes to get to the quarterback, and see how that O-line is tested for real. And let's see Tua replicate what he did this past Sunday against a team like that. Maybe the Patriots, the Cowboys this season, Buffalo Bills. The Jets aren't that bad on defense. No, not with the offense. That looks like a flop. But we gotta see. As of right now, I'm just gonna say what I said last year. I got nothing against Tua. I got nothing against the Dolphins. They won. I gotta respect the win. It all ended up with Dolphins having the better defense, because we saw what happened at the last drive with Herbert. That defense pressured him. They got to him. Game over. But if Tyreek, let's say when Tyreek is not on the team anymore, what is Tua gonna do? Tua is so one-dimensional because he can't go on a 12, 13 play drive, go on a 6-minute drive like that, go down the field, boom, bang, bob to different people, and just score a touchdown. Whenever he struggles to go down the field, he just has to go and look for Tyreek and just chuck it up, because no one's going to catch up to Tyreek. Tua is just very one-dimensional. Almost half of his yards were to Tyreek. So I want to advise Dolphins fans that are watching right now, I got nothing against you or Tua or Tyreek, but if you're going to say Tua is going to be the future of this team, when Tyreek is gone, watch how the guy Tua is going to look like. He's not going to look like anything that you see now. I'm just going to say that.
What was, I want to ask you guys before we move on to the next topic, the biggest disappointment for you in week 1? I'll start. For me, it has to be the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, come on, Kirk. I love you, Kirk. Like, QB on Netflix made me love you so much. Like, you're a good, awesome Christian guy. I love that for you. And you have a nice wife. She's not like that. She's a nice lady. You guys look like, having a great relationship there, great marriage there. Just great, 2 great people. But on the field, like, Vikings had a great year last year. They're actually the ones that lost to the Giants. We're expecting a lot more from you this year after the year you had last year. And you absolutely shat the bed against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a Baker Mayfield Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Mike Evans, who's probably out the door. I don't know what the heck was that. And when he was in trouble, all he tried to do was just chuck it up to Justin Jefferson. That's my biggest disappointment week 1. Isaac?
For me, it really had to be like the matchup between Houston and Baltimore. I expected Lamar Jackson to have an insane day. Of course, he's the guy I decided to start in place of Joe Burrow, and I guess that was the one thing I could say. But he was projected to score 22.5, only gave me 6.5. And I mean, let's face it, Houston is a really bad team. It was expected the Ravens to win. They did win 25-9. But Lamar Jackson, you got to give me a lot more, man, especially if you want to be considered an MVP once again in this league.
Brandon, your biggest disappointment in week 1?
I think my biggest disappointment is happening right now. The New York Jets. I mean, we're talking about all this hype, and again, for those who know me well, I love my Hard Knocks. I love my sport documentaries. Yep. I was hyped for this team, man, and they're running out with the retro jerseys and everything. I'm like, man, let's get started. Let's get started, man. And the O-line was an issue they talked about during Hard Knocks, and I actually tweeted about it while watching Aaron Rodgers, limping off the field or whatnot, getting that car. Live or die by the O-line. That's the whole idea. The Jets never fixed that. Now they have to deal with Zach Wilson, and you saw coach for the New York Jets. Where like Joe Buck's like, and here comes Wilson. The guy's just straight face. You know what I mean? Like 15 minutes in your season, and it's already a disappointment. And again, who knows how serious this ankle injury is going to be for Aaron Rodgers? And does this mean that the Jets season is going to be over? Probably not. But with Aaron Rodgers potentially missing some time, does it mean that they're most likely not going to be able to catch up with the AFC East? There's a lot of potential to that. By week 4, this could be a really competitive division that the Jets can be lacking behind 2 weeks. So this was probably a huge disappointment, I think, for all Jets fans and for, in reality, a lot of NFL fans.
Jonka.
It's going to have to be, obviously, the Vikings game. Let me just tell you something right now. Kirk, I'm the same thing, but with Daniel. You got me on that documentary on Netflix. You pissed me off on Sunday, bro. My boy JJ had 135 yards in the first half. The game was basically neck and neck. And the second half, you only target him twice. Make that make sense. The math ain't mathing to me.
Nah, it's almost like a Drake and Josh line right there. The math ain't mathing.
You better fix that thing on Thursday, bro. Because I swear, if the Eagles beat you, which is most likely going to happen if you keep playing like that, I bet you see Justin Jefferson go for 500 yards on Thursday. Because KJ Osborne ain't going to do it. Jordan Addison ain't going to do it. Madison ain't going to do it. There's only one dude that's going to do it, and it's JJ. I don't want to see anybody else. I want to see 100 targets to JJ the whole game. I don't care. Double, triple, I don't care. My message to you, clip it and send it to Kirk so he knows what my face is like.
Thank you for the very passionate rant on the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins. That was brought to you by Plug Talk. I'm kidding. Let's get into college football. The rankings are out, and we've had some big shape-ups here from week 2. At 1, of course, Georgia. At 2, Michigan. In at number 3, the Florida State Seminoles. At 4, Texas. At 5, USC. At 6, Ohio State. At 7, Penn State. At 8, Washington. At 9, the always overhyped Notre Dame. At 10, Alabama. At 11, Tennessee. At 12, Utah. At 13, Oregon. At 14, LSU. At 15, Kansas State. At 16, Oregon State. At 17, Ole Miss. At 18, someone Jonka doesn't like, but I'm loving it, Colorado. At 19, Oklahoma. At 20, North Carolina, dropping 4. At 21, Duke, moving up 3 spots. At 22, not ranked before, but ranked now, the Miami Hurricanes. At 23, Washington State. 24, UCLA. And 25, Iowa. Jonka, starting with you. The most impressive performance of this weekend in college football goes to?
Well, if you know me, you already know. It's going to have to be the U. Everybody, ESPN had us down, I think, 4.5 points for the money line. CBS Sports had us down. Every sports news network had us down losing that game. They just said, oh, Texas A&M, they had a 5-star studded defensive line. Their O-line is superstar studded. They have the Connor Wegman threw for 5 touchdowns against who knows what. They got receivers that are way better than UM's. Well, look at what happened, buddy. They got the only reason Texas A&M even scored those 2 touchdowns was because of errors on Miami's special teams, and then for some reason that special teams flipped the script, and then Brashard Smith goes on a 98-yard touchdown punt return. I was just taking. I was at the game. Yes, Miami did start kind of conservative. I guess new offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson did start off a little bit conservative. They wanted to see what Texas A&M was giving them. I expected UM to go on a rushing attack, but the defensive line was not letting that happen. So he just changed the plan. He said, "All right, we're gonna go air raid," and look what happened. Tyler Van Dyke went on an air raid, threw for 5 touchdowns. The only UM quarterback to ever throw 5 touchdowns against an AP top 25 team ever for Miami. So that's a good thing for him. Right now, I think he's ranked 9 on the Heisman rankings right now. So hopefully he continues to play like that. He can keep going up in the ranking for the Heisman. But it's a great win overall for Miami. Jimbo Fisher was talking crap. You know, we kept being doubted. The same thing with the Notre Dame game in 2017. We just kept being doubted. We've improved from last year. I know there's gonna be haters like Daniel. He doesn't like Miami. But if you watch Miami from last year and you watch Miami this year, it's a completely different team. They 60% overall of the roster, 60% overall of the staff, and you see the difference now. So let's continue on. I really personally don't care if I'm 22 or not ranked. I'm just focused on the next week, on this coming Thursday, and every game after that. Take it one game at a time. That's for me.
Hey, but let me tell you, the Hurricanes really are back, though, man. Like,
oh my
God,
bro!
I'm not
don't say
that
it.
it's gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's like anything, right? I didn't spoil nothing.
Brandon, you should be banned from walking the streets of Gainesville. Banned.
Daniel,
Look,
I didn't say it. You saw me. I don't advocate this BS yet.
Look, we're talking
about at least make the college football playoff for me to even say we're back.
I'm not saying that they're back in the sense of they're playoff contenders. All right, because first, in my, you know how I think. Win your conference first. You got to be a contender for your conference first before you get talked about national championships. And UM, as of right now, seeing what Clemson is doing, seeing what's going on around the ACC besides Florida State, UM is looking very tough. And I mean very tough. SEC, Texas A&M, that's a hard team to beat. Recruiting class, and college football recruiting is everything. We're talking about one of the best recruiting class ever created in 2023 over Alabama. And Jimbo Fisher. And Jimbo gives you a little bit of taste in everything he does. But there's only been, 3 to 2 losses in his career against the University of Miami, and that was Saturday. So this was huge for Mario Cristobal and his program. But for me, the biggest game of Saturday, probably the biggest game of college football entirely, I think, for the season came real early. And you'll probably hear me say this only one time in my entire lifetime. But hook 'em. Texas, yours, that quarterback, he's a Heisman candidate for a reason. I don't know how they did it. They went over to Alabama and Bryant. And, I don't know if this means it's going to be the turning of the tide, no pun intended, but Nick Saban, Alabama, they just might not be built anymore. I mean, they dropped out of the top 4, maybe out of the top 5. I don't remember. I do apologize. I don't remember the exact spot they're in right now. But that is a program that I think is going to be dealing with a lot of issues sooner than later, especially the way that Georgia's looking like, and the SEC and tile. I mean, Ole Miss could even, cause some issues behind that. And again, maybe, down the line, not this season, of course, but Texas on the road right before they even joined the SEC, I think it's starting of a good rivalry in that conference soon.
Isaac, I know you got me, bro. Take us to church, bro. Preach, please, because after hearing Jonka and Brandon spew their garbage, I need to go take some aspirin from heart palpitations.
Did you guys hear that? It's raining so hard. That was lightning.
I heard that.
I mean,
hey, That's God right there saying, bro, these guys talking about the U is back.
UM is back after being
this guy.
like UM is back after Miami beat Miami of Ohio. What? No. I think you have to give University of Miami a little credit here, beating an SEC team, a top 25 ranked Texas A&M. I think you got to give some credit there. I don't know if they're back yet. I haven't even looked at the UM schedule. It was crazy outside. I have not looked at the UM schedule, but if FSU and UM play later this year, maybe Jonka, you already know you can answer that question.
The third last week.
That is the game you want to win, and if you win that game, maybe you are into the ACC championship, because Duke goes out and beats Clemson. We can talk about Clemson maybe choking that game, maybe their head coach, it's time for him to leave Clemson, blah blah. All the talk is now in place, right? The same thing in the SEC. You see Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium. They should have defended their house against Texas. And for me, that's why I think the Texas game is a little bit a bigger deal here. Texas, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter in Alabama. Are you kidding me? Like, just, that kid, yours. Oh, that's crazy.
Bro, I'm sorry. I just gotta tell you, with you having the Dana White Contender Series background, it looks like we're gonna get like Undertaker's entrance any moment here with that thunder.
Yeah, thunder. But just to finish off here, just as Brandon had said, yours went for 24 of 38, 349 yards. Not crazy stuff. 3 touchdowns, but he was able to manage the game basically for Texas. And the 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against Nick Saban, like, that's absolutely insane. And I forgot his name. He used to play for the Colts. He's always on ESPN. He had the fans pregame say "Roll Tide," and he had all the Alabama fans. Pat McAfee.
There we go. I know why I said Herm Edwards.
Yeah, hyping them up and all this, BS or whatever. I'm trying not to say too many bad words, but I'm talking about Alabama here. And go Texas, man. Keep doing your thing. I don't know if this team is strong enough to go out and compete in the college football playoffs. We will see. Is Alabama down and done? Is their dynasty over? I don't know. But that win was significant for this season for Texas.
Thank you, Isaac, for bringing some credibility back to this show. Whoa! That's what happens when you talk about UM and Gainesville.
Wow.
That's what happens when you talk about the Hurricanes in Gainesville, bro. Don't do it.
It's Hurricane Lee.
My bad. The lightning came over.
This boy said Hurricane Lee.
Well, let me tell you something. Those Hurricane. When I was hearing that Hurricane Thunder, man, I thought that Izzy was still getting hit by Strickland in the background, bro. I was hearing, it was just American.
Man, this might be the best episode so far this year. It's crazy.
Oh man, hey, I gotta say, for me, I'm gonna do it right here, Texas. I gotta go with Texas as well. But you know what? I'm gonna do a little Peter Parker style. You guys know what I'm talking about? Texas for sure. That was one hell of a ball game. They beat Nick Saban's Alabama, Roll Tide, which, by the way, there is some sort of, I don't even know if it's a sickness or disease, but I've seen it happen many times. You see one person with an Alabama hat, right? And they can be with their family, friends, whatever, and you just whisper to them, "Oh, Roll Tide." Literally, everyone down the block, Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide. Like, everyone just – but anyways, Texas for sure. But you know what? I got to give my school some love, because they pulled off an upset. Kejuan Jenkins and FIU, baby. They were right there. Panther love, baby. Paws up. They were predicted to lose to the North Texas Mean Green. I even said, there's no way we're beating North Texas. That's a good football team right there. But I think FIU has found their man, which he should have started from week 1. It should have never been Grayson James. It should have been Kejuan Jenkins. The guy is from Central. Played phenomenal last year. And then, he's committed to Auburn, decommits from Auburn, goes to FIU. Like, you got to use this guy. He's a top talent. And him and Chris Mitchell, the wide receiver, have found a lethal connection. And let me tell you, if they keep playing on this way, Conference USA might be theirs for the taking. So I gotta go with Texas and FIU.
May I be the one to say that 2 weeks ago on this podcast?
Yep, you gotta say it, bro.
I was the one that said 2 games my butt, bro. 2 games. Where are you guys coming up with this 2 game stuff, bro? Miami FIU is better than that, bro. Come on, 2 games, 2 games. Come on, bro. And you got Daniel saying 2 games, 2 games. You got Brandon saying 2 games, 2 games. Nah.
Look, I didn't believe in McIntyre and Grayson James, man. Especially after throwing for 4 yards. I mean, could you blame me? You know what I mean?
I don't blame you, Brandon.
So, but yeah, I mean, I definitely love the story. You know, kid out of Central, you always got to go behind the Miami kid. And again, we're talking about a guy that was been highly recruited by SEC, Power 5 teams that even come back to FIU. It's huge. I think it's huge for recruitment, and it definitely tells something about that program. So, I do a win.
You gotta talk to me here, man, because you need to save me. Because I've worked with a lot of athletes from Europe, and a lot of them are on my case right now, and it's kind of embarrassing because they've sent me DMs and messages, and I haven't responded to them because I don't know what to tell them. But a lot of them are just ranking on me. Oh, the USA lost in the semifinals of the FIBA World Cup. You guys are terrible. But you know what my response was this morning, Brandon? Oh, LeBron, KD, Steph Curry, they're teaming up. Y'all are in some serious trouble, boy. Let me tell you, you guys are in some trouble. You guys want to talk all that garbage saying, oh, Noah was right. You guys win the NBA. You're not world champions. Look at that. The Europeans are catching up in basketball. You guys are not anything. Well, guess what? You have awoken the monster, and now the monster's coming to you in the Olympics. So you guys better be ready to lose by 50.
Yeah. I want to update everybody on Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, I was in the beginning. It is feared that Aaron Rodgers might have ruptured his Achilles. I'm watching.
I think it's that, but
wow.
He will undergo MRI tomorrow. But people are saying, and what's it called? Dolph Clement is saying it's most likely going to be a ruptured Achilles.
Let me tell you, there ain't nothing about sitting in a dark room that's going to help him to heal that up, man. That's the end of his season.
Bro, why are you like this? Why are you like this?
I mean, I hope it's not that bad, but
honestly,
yeah. Hopefully, Rod's gonna be okay, man. But again, live by the O-line, die by the O-line. But man, like there's so many takes they could take from this FIBA World Cup. Like, the fact that there was a bunch of Americans that went to play for international squads. The fact that Canada made it to honestly, they actually qualified for the Olympics, I think, for the first time since the early 2000s. So that team had a lot of all-stars. That team had probably the best Canadian team I've seen in a long while. And this is a team without Andrew Wiggins on it. But for the U.S. team, what I found very interesting about the U.S. team, and again, this is FIBA World Cup. This isn't the Olympics. So you're not going to have a bunch of all-stars or guys jumping on to create this roster. It was a roster with a lot of firsts, right? I mean, Anthony Edwards, first time representing the United States. Mikal Bridges, representing the United States on foreign soil for the first time. Cam Johnson, Jalen Brunson. I mean, you had guys, Austin Reeves, you had guys on that roster that can definitely come out with 100% quality to even win the entire thing. What it really came down to, I think, was more or less execution against a team where, for example, Germany, where you don't have a lot of bigs helping you out. This was a poor rebounding team for the United States. They didn't really have any guys besides Jaren Jackson Jr., Defensive Player of the Year from last year for the NBA, that was really helping box out guys. I mean, even foreshadowing that, the Lithuania game, right? Valanciunas ate up those boards. It was ridiculous. And then you go into this game that we have against Germany. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, who won MVP of the entire tournament, who's guarding him, right? Why are they getting second chance shots? And for those who are curious about what does Germany even have besides Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner. The guy's a freaking stud. Orlando, what they got? I mean, watch out for Orlando next year. I'm telling you. Wagner, I don't forget what his entire total was, but I know he was averaging more than 15 points a game in the final game as well against a really competitive Serbian team. He showed out. But, they got rosters with NBA experience out there. I mean, Daniel Tice, another German player that was on that roster. And then you see the United States going against teams like Canada, which, again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dylan Brooks, apparently has a three-point shot now. But, yeah, this was a U.S. team that just, first time for a lot of players. Greg Popovich was not a part in any bit of, or even had a role with this team. Of course, Steve Kerr was the head coach, and Eric Spoelstra as well, having some, input a little bit as I would probably believe one of the head assistant coaches on that roster. But it was a team that was, not going to say doomed from the start, but a lot of slow starts throughout the entire tournament. And, 31 points allowed in the first quarter against Lithuania. You can never come back from that for the United States. And then Dennis Schroeder goes off in a game where you see a lot of three-point going in from Germany. And you're playing catch up the entire way. So I thought defensively this team had a lot of issues. I thought that rebounding this team had a lot of issues, especially playing against international teams where, these are guys playing some of the best basketball in the world, right? So they just weren't prepared for that. Now, what you mentioned about the Olympics, though, happening in Paris, that's going to be interesting. You got seasoned vets. You got Olympian vets, USA vets that are coming back. One of them being Jason Tatum. Damian Lillard coming back. LeBron, I don't even know how LeBron's going to look like next year. But this will probably be LeBron's last Olympic Games. And funny enough, it will be Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's going to be more – I'm really curious because, again, we talk about the redemption team stacking next to the dream team. What does redemption team 2.0 look like? That's what I'm really curious about. But, yeah, I mean, I can go on a whole hour about this USA team. But I would say one thing to leave off on a good note. We did see Anthony Edwards shine a lot. The reason why they call him Baby MJ, because he really is in some moments. So look out for Minnesota. I think the Brooklyn Nets are going to get much better after having Mikal Bridges have this opportunity. And statistically, he was the best player on that team. But a lot of positives, but definitely a negative. The U.S. just wasn't ready for this one.
Switching gears to the final two topics of the night, we're going to talk about Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul as they're gearing up towards their fight. Guys, if you guys have been seeing this on Twitter, Dylan Dennis has been really getting extremely personal. Logan Paul's fiance now is suing Dylan Dennis for defamation after he posted a sexually explicit video of her committing a sexual act. And he's been posting all the guys that she's ever been with. He's been talking really bad about Logan Paul. And it's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad, some of the things. We know that this is staged, boxing and the trash talk. It's staged, but this has gotten really personal. So honestly, it's a crap show to be seeing right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sure it was the thunder outside, right, Brandon?
No, I don't know what it was. It was just, I don't know, the Logan Paul slander probably got to my phone here. So, but.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we got Logan Paul now videos of Dylan Dennis in an interview. Got him editing videos. They're not even real. This is just, honestly, it's embarrassing for the both of them.
It is bad, man. In a weird way, I find it's that two of these people, they're probably the worst people on earth. And the fact that they're fighting like this, it just makes them even worse people. Again, I really have not seen a single Logan Paul fight besides the Mayweather fight because I had to work that day at Hard Rock Stadium. So this is going to be a fight where it's going to be, stuff like this, headlines. Oh, he said this about his wife. He said, this guy couldn't make it against a bouncer at a club, But I got to admit, man, I love seeing Dennis going at Logan, man. I'm not going to lie. This is the one and only time where, Logan, you can shut up, please. Please shut up. You shouldn't be talking. So, you know, hopefully Logan loses, and hopefully he can, find, I don't even know what, hopefully find God, find something besides boxing against random people for beef. But, this has definitely been a saga that has definitely gone far for the wife. I do feel for her. I mean, it does not feel good, I can imagine, for having your name in the media like that. But honestly, Dennis is, he has reasons, and I don't blame him.
Isaac, you need to get your 2 cents in here, man.
I mean, the fact that we're here on Plug Talk Sports on a Monday night, we just finished talking about one of the greatest victories to start off the college football season, week 1, the highs and lows of the FIBA tournament, everybody's plug of the week, and here we are. We have to talk about Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul. Why? And to answer what Brandon just said, like Logan Paul needs to find God. Like, he already kind of has. He's found the TV God, and that's the WWE. So it's like, why can't he just stay there? This is supposed to be a 10-round fight, and I don't think that we're gonna see 10 rounds. My hot take is that Logan Paul, as much as I hate to say this, is going to knock out Dylan Dennis.
Whoa.
I think that we're going to see a Logan Paul that is furious and actually focused. Dylan Dennis has never had any success in MMA besides being Conor McGregor's
punch buddy,
sparring partner, training partner, carrying the jock strap for Conor McGregor, whatever. Like, he's trying his best Conor McGregor impression by sharing these explicit videos, which I just read up on the unfortunately what's going on with the fiance. She is not only suing him like for money and everything, she's asking for a restraining order. So imagine to feel so violated that you need to ask a judge to say, hey, keep this person away from me physically on the internet. I mean, it's a horrible situation. And my hot take is Logan Paul, inside 5 rounds, gets a nice counter punch and knocks out Dylan Dennis, just like Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson. I think you're going to see Dylan Dennis being merged with the canvas on the floor.
Sticking with you, Isaac, final topic of the night, Strickland and Adesanya. Run us through that.
Yeah, and I just saw the time, so I'll be very brief. I think this was a really bad day for Israel Adesanya. This was his flu game. He wasn't, I would say second round and fourth round were probably his best performance of the night, but it was a little bit too late. Sean Strickland, with his really awkward, unorthodox boxing style, was able to make Adesanya feel very uncomfortable, wasn't able to get in rhythm. And Sean Strickland, I mean, this guy was number 5 not too long ago. Somehow, some way, found his way in this championship bout. We thought that Duplessis, the South African, was going to be next in line for the title fight. Somehow, some way, almost said Sean O'Malley. Strickland found himself in this championship fight, shows up and does the thing. And if you look at the recent champions, this is Sugar Sean O'Malley and now Sean Strickland. Like, this is crazy. Like, the chaos is so crazy in MMA right now. The most unlikely heroes and people are winning championships, and it's going to be an exciting rest of the year for the UFC. But I want to see a rematch, if I'm being frank.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think a rematch would be good because it was. Let me tell you, it was bad. it was pretty bad for Adesanya. I've never seen him perform that way before. That poorly. Yeah, I've never seen that from Adesanya before. Anyways, guys, that is all the time we have here tonight for Plug Talk Sports episode 108. Again, thank you guys for tuning in week in, week out, and for tuning in to our social medias, our TikTok, our Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and stay updated with all of your sports right there through all of our platforms. Give it a follow if you haven't already. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And also as well, didn't mention this at the beginning of the show, but we'll mention it now before we go. let's also take time today. I know today's almost ending in 2 hours here in the East Coast, but take time to think about those who lost their lives today in 9/11, a tragic day for the United States. So let's not go without remembering those people. But again, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys next Monday